to go film for a boxing coach, which is something different that I never really do, but I'm super excited to get this job because I do want to get into more of documenting MMA fighters, UCF fighters, things along that nature. And I think this opportunity is going to be a great opportunity for me to get my foot into the door for that type of industry. And the good part about it is local. It's only like 40 minutes from my house, not too far. I'm not going to Miami, or I'm not going to Jacksonville or anywhere far like that. So for this project, it's not long, it's not hard, it's fairly simple. It's going to be about 2 to 3 hours of filming. It's just going to be an interview, lay it over with B-roll. So fairly simple work, nothing too overcomplicated. Yeah, see how it goes. I'll pick up when I'm there. So this is the current struggles that I have right now without having a cart. I got to carry all of this stuff inside of there, around that building. I wish I had a cart. So right here, I am now going over the B-roll of the job. I already finished the interview, which completely went wrong. I'll tell you about that. Right here, the coach is basically just telling me that, hey, you can come inside and shoot if you want to, which made it a lot easier for me because I really didn't want to shoot through the cage, but it was okay. I had my aperture at a 1.4, I believe, or it was a 2.0. So it was able to blur the cage out so I can get them, but it did help a whole lot better for me to be inside the cage. But anyways, going back to the interview, which was a complete disaster. So with this job, this is my first time working with this client, but this is not my first time being at this gym. I previously been to this gym before, back when I had my A7S3, and the first time I came to this gym, I knew that this lighting in this gym is completely trash. It is not the best lighting. So me knowing that I'm coming back to the gym, I wanted to prepare for that. So I brought my whole lighting kit. I brought an Aperture 300D, which I just made a video about that, so be on the lookout for that. And then I brought an Amaran 60D for a backlight. And I brought everything that I need. I go to the interview, I set it up, I have them framed up perfectly. I'm exposing for the windows because there's these humongous windows in the background that are just completely blown out. And then the lighting inside this gym already isn't good. So it just made everything a lot more difficult for me. So when I get everything exposed, get them set up, get them framed right, I go to pull out the lights to make sure the lights are good. Then I realized I forgot the most important thing of it all. And no, it's not the SD cards. It's actually the light stands. I was so mad that I completely forgot the light stands. And I didn't want to tell the client, like, hey, I just forgot the light stands. Can I run back to the house and get them? Because I was a 40-minute drive and we're already starting the process of the interview because we had 1 hour to do this interview before his client started coming in. So that was out of the question for me. So I quickly had to improvise. And so I basically just set him up underneath the best looking light that I can find, which none of it was. And I had to just frame them up and I had to just get it to where it looked somewhat professional. I had to do the best that I could, in all honesty. I just can't believe that I forgot the light stands. I typically normally always put my light stands in the car. I typically pack everything the day before into the car and leave like my camera bag and my lights out because I don't want it to sit in my car getting really, really hot, especially in Florida, the summertime right now. It is ridiculously hot and I got an all black car, so it cooks up in there pretty fast. So it was a mistake on my end. I was rushing the house, leaving, making sure that I was on time, but I believe I did the best that I could to get this interview. I'm gonna post the final footage at the end of this video, so maybe you guys can judge it. Give me your opinions in the comment section below. But this is why it's crucially important as a DP to be on your 10 toes. You really have to be alert. You have to improvise. You have to make situations work when they just don't completely work, when they don't go according to plan. And that's why it's crucially important. You sometimes got to be the gaffer. You sometimes got to be the first AC. You sometimes got to be the director. You got to be them all. So you have to improvise. You have to think quick. You have to move fast and you have to not panic. That's the most important thing, is to not panic when things just don't go according to plan. Also, another issue that I had with this gym was the music. I asked him if he can turn the music down because it was extremely loud, but he told me that he had no control over the music. So it really messed up the audio in this whole interview. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't a good spot. It wasn't a good place, but it fit the theme of what he was talking about. So he was fine with the music being in the background. I did my best to try to get rid of it. I tried to go in post production and use voice isolation that's in Final Cut Pro to get rid of all the background noises, but it was just distorting it too much. So it came out really clunky. I did use a little bit of it. I put it at about 60% to try to get rid of it, but whenever I
put it anything higher than 60% to completely get rid of it, you can tell the audio is completely distorted. It just did not sound good. So I had to leave some of the background noises from the music playing in the background, but it is what it is. The client, at the end of the day, he was very satisfied with this whole project, how everything came out. So that's a good part on my end, but it definitely did cause a lot of stress for me. As you can see right here, these are the disgusting windows that I was telling you about that are just completely blown out. And honestly, what made it even worse, that it's not that the outside is just completely blown out. On these windows, they have like a protective coating. It's like an ND filter, but instead of it being dark, it was white. So it had like a white layer over the window, and then the sun was already bright and the sky was already bright outside. So it just made this really, really hard to try to properly expose for. I tried bumping my aperture up to a f4, but when I did that, my subjects became too dark. And then when I tried bumping my ISO up to 12,800 and then added an ND filter, it still was just too dark. And I was noticing that I was getting a lot of noise in the footage as well. So in this situation, let me know what you guys do in the comment section below. I honestly don't even think that there's much that I honestly could do, especially since I don't have controlled lighting. But even if I did have controlled lighting, I feel like I would need a lot of lights in order to properly light this whole project, because there is, I believe it was 8 of them, 8 clients he had. So for me to get everybody properly lit, I think that definitely would have been a really hard challenge. And honestly, this was like really the hardest part about this whole project. So for this whole shoot, I basically tried to just have my back against the windows. As you can see me in the corner over there, I don't know if you saw my shoes, I basically had my back against the windows, because whenever I pointed the camera directly at those windows, it was gone, completely blown out, and there was no way I was going to be able to recover that information in post-production, and it just honestly wouldn't have came out good. So even with my back towards the windows, if I go point towards the cage, it was still kind of dark. So honestly, this was probably one of the most stressful shoots that I had, but I knew it was going to be stressful if I didn't bring my lights. But I didn't remember it being this bad last time I came here. But these are just the challenges of being a DP, honestly. So now these are the clients inside the ring. They're doing a lot of cardio exercise. I didn't really capture too much footage because I don't know. I just don't like the client seeing me on my phone. Oh, as you can see right here, I got the new monitor set up that I was talking about in the last vlog that I posted, and I'm loving it. It's working really, really good. It's comfortable. You can see how I'm holding the camera, how I just love the placement. But like I was saying, I don't really like the client seeing me on my phone. So it's really kind of hard for me to do these behind the scenes vlog and capture a lot of footage and even get the proper angle to where you can see me in action. Because at the end of the day, I'm more focused on the job. That's the first priority. The client that's paying me, they are my top priority. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to keep doing these vlogs, but I'm trying, and I'm just trying to basically just feed you information of how it's like being on set and the struggles. If you made it this far in the video, I'm going to post the actual full video that I edited, shot, and filmed at the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.
My name is Rico, aka Coach Vega, and I've been a boxing trainer for almost 8 years. That's 3. All the way down! I've been with the dad. This is the biggest box office by way of self-made training facility. I am your coach. Come train with me here at this gym. I'll see you then.